Warning, this video may contain content that may not be suitable for children or anyone else that is easily offended. Strong language, graphic content, nudity, bad jokes, and a possible idiot, aka myself, may be featured in the following clip. Viewer discretion is advised. Channel is not responsible for any damages that you receive watching this video.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Zems, and welcome to the God Experiment Creepypasta Scary Stories from Reddit. No sleep. This video is by the Dark Sobinium, so if you guys haven't already, be sure you swoop down in the description box, click on that link, go watch the videos in entirety. While we pause it and stop it and talk it through the whole thing. This video was recommended to me by Lee. Make sure you guys are giving me recommendations. I will check them out, and if it's, I probably won't, but if it's, I probably will. But yeah, man, let's get into it, man. Let's keep doing what you guys are doing, and the videos will keep coming. We're right around the corner from 3K, but for now, let's get it.
I wondered what it would be like to play God.
No, absolutely not.
Some questions should stay unanswered.
100% believe that.
We selected 7 individuals for the study. My colleagues found it important to have a radical mixture of gender and sexual orientation.
That's fair.
Discrete cameras were set up throughout the participants' home and place of business. We instructed the subjects to proceed with their daily activities normally, as if nothing had changed. We then told our people a white lie. We told them that a team of scientists would be working to alter their lives.
Cap.
Allegedly, this group analyzed the recordings and applied subtle changes to the subjects' real-time routines.
How so?
Each modification would be designed to improve personal productivity and overall contentment. We told subjects that they should not notice any differences whatsoever.
Yeah, okay.
It could be as simple as a passerby saying hi. We also forbid all contact with us during this time. The reality was that we did nothing. We just watched. In the interest of avoiding the ire of recent legal proceedings, I will avoid using last names. I worked with a respected sociologist named Thomas, or Tommy for short. Tom's prestige in the industry secured our funding in the first place. I considered myself the intern. My job entailed ordering pizza, bringing coffee, and answering phone.
Hell no, I will never be that. I couldn't do it, bro. You think you about to send me to that crowded ass Dunkin' Donuts to get a 12 dozen or maybe more, maybe some coffees? Hell no, bro. I cannot, bro. It'll be a cold day in hell before I become anyone's maid, bro. No.
Sometimes Thomas allowed me to watch the cameras while he slept or left the building.
Why he
Not
slept?
a bad gig for a 23-year-old kid with a sociology degree.
Hell no.
That changed soon after it started. My hatred for my job started
There
when
you
the
go.
first subject, Michael, began to behave erratically. The biography listed him as Subject 001,
That's the worst
a
one.
straight white male, aged 28. He stood at 6 feet 3 inches. He weighed 190 pounds.
Wow.
He had dark brown hair with a blemish on the upper right corner of his eyebrow.
Yeah, that's a good
Mike did
description.
not have a girlfriend at the time. Thankfully, Tom considered that factor. It did not take long for things to go haywire. On the second day of record keeping, I caught Mike talking to himself in the middle of the night.
Everybody do that.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Are you sure? I don't want to do it.
The noise nearly caused me to fall off my chair. The rest of the day had been silent. I checked the cameras twice, but found no one else there. Thomas had left the building on another one of his errands. I texted him an alert just as Michael jumped out of bed on the infrared and walked to his door.
Camera 3. 001's losing his marbles.
Tommy walked into our makeshift laboratory a couple of minutes later. He wore a look of guarded excitement and an undersized white coat that barely covered his overstuffed belly.
Bro, I already don't like Thomas. It's already been 3 minutes in the video, and I already don't like this dude, man. Like, he's lazy, he's been sleeping, he leaves the office with patient 001. Everybody knows 001 is the main, and it's like the worst person that you could deal with because it's test subject number 1. You're about to get all your data on this one person, so you know you have to keep eyes on him. That's red flag number 1. Red flag number 2 is he keeps leaving. Well, I don't know. I'm already over with this video. Also, I might put this video into 2 parts because it's 36 minutes long, and you know your boy like to talk a lot.
Crumbs on his jacket suggested that snacking had caused him to slack off the next door. Yet again, Tom looked fascinated when he saw the screen. He watched the monitor over my shoulder like a parrot. Michael banged his head against the wall. My colleague sounded downright giddy when he exclaimed,
Oh, it's happening. Record this, kid.
I did not know what it meant, but I followed orders. After about 23 headbangs, Michael stopped moving.
23?
We waited and watched for 10 minutes. We checked his vitals. Somehow, Michael was not injured. He only fell asleep, standing up. It is an eerie feeling to watch a man on the verge of losing his mind. The curtains in his apartment fluttered nervously in the wind.
Red flag
Every
3.
few hours, Michael roused himself from sleep and checked the window nervously, then returned to his perch by the bedroom door. He repeated this trend a few times throughout the night. He didn't get back in bed all evening. The next day, Michael got a promotion. We had nothing to do with it.
A
We
promotion?
watched the whole thing from a hidden cubicle camera. Michael's boss sounded truly grateful. She considered Michael's job performance to be worthy of recognition. To boot, the firm had been particularly successful that quarter. That meant a big bonus. The shit-eating grin on Michael's face told us that he considered the experiment to be responsible. Our subject got very drunk that night. We did not capture the bar in our video feed. I did, however, catch his walk of shame home sometime around 2 in the morning.
He didn't get no cheeks.
I adjusted the audio and found the guy talking to himself once again.
I don't want to. I don't want to. Are you sure? I don't want to.
Uh-oh.
Michael walked into the apartment and flicked the light switch. The room remained quiet.
Head banging.
He repeated his favorite little phrase over and over again. He futzed around in the living room in an apparent panic.
I don't want to. I don't want to. Are you sure? I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Are you sure? I don't want to do it.
It annoyed me, to
Do
be
what?
honest.
Yeah, me
I
too.
started to doubt my colleague. Unstable subjects tend to skew results. I had not considered the more dire consequences at the time. Who's he talking to? I asked. Tom didn't answer. Michael walked toward the kitchen and grabbed a glass of water from the fridge. His movements seemed extremely erratic. The overall behavior reminded me of an animal with rabies, especially the way one leg dragged behind the other.
Oh, hell no.
Suddenly, as if hearing something, Michael stopped and stared out of the kitchen window. The water spilled all over the floor. Michael stayed in that position for 5 minutes. Then, he offered one last line in the direction of the kitchen door.
Are you sure?
Then he sprinted outside without another word.
Switch to camera 4.
Tommy barked over my shoulder. I did as I was told. I swear. That's it. The memory of this still keeps me up at night.
He got hit by a car, huh?
Michael's drunken shape came back into focus on the green grass of the apartment complex. The receiver taped to his chest captured rapid breaths as his haphazard footsteps traced the path that led in only one direction. Headlights and horns blasted only 50 feet away. The freeway.
Tom, this is a problem. This is a big fucking problem.
I must have repeated that phrase at least 1,000 times, but my pleas were ignored by my wide-eyed companion. I grabbed the office phone and quickly tried to find an emergency contact. All the while, Michael teetered in between traffic carelessly like a missing toddler.
Yep, see? Man, bro, imagine they actually, I really think they be doing experiments like this, bro. Some of these people may not even be crazy. They may be test subjects. You heard it here first, folks. But in all seriousness, just like, what do you, I don't know. I don't like Tom either, kind of, because he's just right there just being a spectator, not giving me any information. He's sweating behind me, Cheeto crumbs and stuff on his hands. Switch the camera for it. Like, boy, you don't get on my ear. You go out there and get this dude before he gets hit by a car. I don't know what experiment they're doing. He said, are you sure? Dropped the water bottle, ran outside, probably going to attack somebody. This is how zombie apocalypse happened, bruh. He probably got bit by something or they injected him with something. He's about to go out, attack somebody, then they're going to get it, and it's going to keep going on and on and on. You guys know how it is. I don't even know at this point. They didn't really offer any, what did they do to him? Because they didn't really offer any explanations on why he's doing it. Maybe I keep pausing it too much before we even get there, but it's just like, at least give me something to hold on to get me like, okay, what did they change in his life to make him start going crazy? Are they playing stuff that's in there that we can't hear, but he can hear it? You know what I'm saying? Like a cabin in the woods, like that kind of stuff. But I don't know. Let's see.
There's nothing we can do.
Tom muttered.
What do you want me to say?
Michael's body exploded the moment it met the tractor trailer. He died that day. Our benefactor compensated the family handsomely. Litigation was temporarily avoided. The God experiment continued with the remaining subjects, uninterrupted, for 5 weeks. The God experiment's second trial claimed a 29-year-old woman. Her name was Caroline. According to the bio, the subject stood at 5 feet 3 inches. She weighed 135 pounds. Caroline had dirty blonde hair that met mildly hazel eyes, with astigmatism affecting both lenses.
Damn.
Survey results indicated a surprising lack of romantic partners in the picture. Regardless, she was a female who pursued men exclusively. That fact checked Tommy's second box.
Wait, what?
So enter subject 002. Caroline lived alone in a small apartment close to home. She preferred it that way. The short distance made it easy to check on her mother, Jacqueline, twice a day. Jacqueline
Okay.
suffered from stage 2 breast cancer, and the debilitating results of chemotherapy just started to take effect around the time of our study.
I don't trust chemo.
But she never complained. Some had it worse. Her dad died from the same disease years back. Nobody wanted that. Her brother was working now, and Caroline considered that a good thing, but no one knew how long Sean could stay employed. Minimum wage positions tended to be seasonal.
Facts.
She told friends on the phone that the new job seemed lucrative but scary. What if something could happen to him? If she lost either one, she might just lose her mind. And
Facts.
so, late at night, Caroline prayed. I liked to listen to the audio while Tommy snored in the hallway. She asked God for the same thing we all do. A game-changing cure for her mom, maybe, who started to look thinner every day. Perhaps her brother could land a manager position at that new store in town.
He has so much potential.
She would say. Her voice rose slightly past a whisper every time she repeated that line.
Give him the strength to apply himself this time.
Caroline also asked God
Yeah,
if
that's
it would be
sad.
time to meet a man worth the wait. That last one seemed a lot less important than the rest, though, and stayed noted as such in all prayers. She repeated the routine every single night. Nobody ever answered. That changed in the second week of our study. Jacqueline had an important doctor's appointment in the morning. Her daughter stayed up late in the night with worry. She said 17 prayers, 6 Hail Marys, 6 Our Fathers, and
Damn.
5 personalized messages to the big man himself.
Whew.
Somehow, the kid got something right. Excitement overwhelmed the car's audio the moment the two of them got inside. Jacqueline spoke with an apprehensive tone at first.
Wait, I can't hear that, Doctor. He mumbles when he talks. The chemo actually worked?
The backdrop of the corporate parking lot suddenly painted a beautiful scene. Mother and daughter embraced for several long moments. Static from their windbreakers corrupted the microphones for a moment.
I'm sorry. I just don't trust chemo. I've had, was it 2 family members so far that did chemo and it made it worse. It's not, I don't think it's not 100%. I'll just take my chances and not even do it, man. And then I also seen that, and not even just my family, but my friends, like family members and stuff that had it, they were doing okay up until they found out they had cancer, and then up until they got chemo and it made it worse. Supposedly, they said if you just have a good diet and stuff like that, it's supposed to get rid of itself. I don't know. Do your own research on that. I'm just going off of what I've read and what I've heard, but I've heard chemo makes it worse. But some people actually made it through chemo thanks to chemo. So I don't know. Maybe it depends on the person. Maybe it depends on the body. Like, I don't know. I'm not really too sure, but I just want to throw that out there.
They both wiped tears from their eyes as they sat back in their seats.
The chemo actually worked.
Caroline coughed a couple of times to clear her voice.
Doctor said you need some follow-up scans, some new medicine, but
Nope.
no more treatments.
She paused and looked at her mother with admiration.
You're in remission, young lady.
I paused the video. The moment caused me to tear up as well. The poor, battle-worn woman smiled brightly underneath her wig. She looked young again. I guess the recognition of salvation took off 10 years. It was beautiful to see something good happen, finally,
Yeah.
in a string of so much bad.
But wait, there's
Tommy
more.
appeared over my shoulder.
Screenshot that.
I did as I was told. We resumed the video a second later.
Call your brother. He worries.
Caroline's mother usually wore a gruff and unfriendly expression, but today, nothing could contain the excited sparkle in those weary eyes.
And let's get a drink. Oh, he's on speakerphone. He called us.
Caroline giggled. Sean, can you hear us? The confident young man crackled through the secondary audio.
Well, guess who just became a full-timer?
Both
Oh.
of Caroline's wishes came true that same day. And so, the family celebrated well into the night.
That's
They
crazy.
chose a restaurant on the outskirts of town. We did not have this location on our camera feed. I hope they had a good time. Once again, our cameras caught a drunk subject stumbling home after hours.
It was her.
I was alone at the time. When I enhanced the audio, her nervous voice caused my blood to run cold.
Are they okay? Okay. Are they okay? Okay. Are they okay? Okay.
Caroline mumbled the words on a loop like a depressing song.
I don't get
Are
it.
they okay? Okay. Are they okay? Okay. Are they okay?
She's about to die, bro.
Okay.
She
Tommy
is.
promised his wife a real dinner for the first night, and who knows how long. I promised to cover. I called and texted him about 1,000 times. Subject 002, same symptoms. We can't let this fucking happen again.
It's
Answer
about
the
to.
fucking phone, Tommy. I did not receive a response. Caroline teetered around her family room in confused, stuttered steps. She repeated her new phrase to the empty room a few more times. The whole thing seemed bizarre. Too bizarre for just a crazy night of drinking.
Oh my God! I just had what you call it? I know what it is. Swear to you, I have not seen this video, and if I am correct, bro, I'm about to like lose it. What if this dude that is working this internship is the experiment, right? All right, hear me out. Hear me out. It's called the God experiment, right? What does God do? He watches over people, right? What is he doing? He's watching over people. He's giving him different 7 people. Each of the 7, or each individual person is going through something. The first one probably has some mental disability or something that made him go crazy, right? Boom, he ran outside, killed himself, right? Boom, the second one, sad story. The family got cancer, her brother and stuff is out of work, and all this other stuff that's going on, right? And he's like, oh my God, I can't let this happen again. What can I do, right? He's trying to play God. I think that's what it's called, the God experiment. I don't think they're the experiment. I think he is. And that's the reason why Thomas is not answering the phone, because he's trying to see how he's going to be able to deal with it and what he's going to do to try to stop, to either help that person, or is he not going to do anything and just let that person meet their demise. But that's just me. That just came to me right now. Okay, if I'm wrong, you can't say that I was like, that would have been a good ending to the video. But I'm thinking that he's the experiment.
I did not think drugs could have been involved, at least not voluntarily. The girl didn't even keep alcohol in the house. After 5 minutes, Caroline walked to the door and stepped into the rain. The temperature read 43 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh shit.
She did not have shoes, a sweater, or a hat.
You about to
I
freeze.
swapped through views as quickly as possible in order to catch up. After a few moments, the second camera found our subject in her backyard. A dusty cornfield sat on the corner of the rural property, and Caroline walked toward it slowly. She did not look worried or appear to be in a rush. The mic caught cool, calm, and collected breaths through the rain. In fact, for the first time in the entire experiment, she seemed at peace. Blood pressure and vitals lowered to healthier levels. Her pulse did not indicate any issues. Caroline reached the edge of the cornfield before long. She turned and looked one last time toward the house and smiled. Part of me still feels like she smiled at the camera. Without warning, a blunt object struck her head from behind. I sat dumbfounded and helpless as a blurry shape dragged our subject away. The audio caught one last line before the mic fell into the maze.
Are they okay? Okay.
Subject 002 is still missing to this day.
Jesus, she got killed by a serial killer, bro. So the first one's
Have
suicide,
you
the
ever
second
wondered
one
what it
murder.
would be like to watch 7 lives fall apart on camera?
Nope.
Picture yourself on a train ride over a mountain covered in ice, and you hear the avalanche. A monotone rumble of shifting rocks and billowing snow overloads the cold air. That noise can only mean one thing, right?
Avalanche.
You're sure death is coming,
Mm-hmm.
but no one in the carnage screams. No one is crying, and instead, it's calm and quiet
That's creepy.
right up until the end. Subject 003 was a transgender male named Courtney. The participant stood 5 feet 6 inches. He weighed 150 pounds. In the photograph, dark, unblemished skin met stylish black hair, shaved short on one side. Courtney was in a relationship with a female, but the happy couple had not moved in together. I considered camera placement to be ideal inside the cramped studio apartment. From an early age, Courtney exhibited clear signs that birth did not match the right body. Early onset identity crisis led to complexities, including depression and anxiety, that went untreated throughout the teenage years.
Depression is a
The
bitch.
madness ended when medical professionals took corrective measures to implement a lifelong dream. He worked in a high-paying job in the healthcare industry, and held a padded HSA to boot. He paid for the whole procedure himself. Even still, Courtney's parents ceased all communication. That fact haunted him. Courtney never considered himself religious. Survey results indicated that, with a few major concepts. He believed in a God. He believed in judgment and punishment, and some sort of peace in the end for us all.
I love
Like
peace.
everybody, Courtney had his own issues with the big man or big lady. On the topic of omnipotence, he wrote, "If there is a puppet master, I am his missing string." I found that sort of dark, but
Yeah.
he still prayed for some things. The messages delivered by his bedside in the dark of night were to no one in particular. Each offering began with something like, "I don't know if anyone is listening, but," because it felt safer that way. Easier not to damn yourself with one if you've got a chance with another. He prayed for his family to talk to him again. He prayed for acceptance. He prayed for his little sister's health, and another promotion, and better medication, and less makeup. But most of all, he asked for something most may be able to understand.
What?
He prayed for enough money to make his girlfriend a wife and start a life. In the second week of our study, things seemed to be heading in the right direction. A late-night conversation in the bedroom with Samantha broached the topic of marriage. His little sister, Sarah, texted often and claimed that she felt fine. The course of his career continued to trend upwards, and bonus season claimed another happy participant.
Hey!
However, we began to notice similar symptoms the Tuesday after Subject 002 went missing. Courtney's mother called that morning. The conversation started pleasant enough. She talked about herself, mostly. The gossip at the library, favorite television shows, the usual. However, the topic eventually led to where it always does. Her father's drinking problems. Dad must have heard the last part when he walked by. He offered one soul-crushing bit of advice into the receiver while Mom tried to escape the room.
Tell my little girl I say hello.
Tom and I were both in the office at the time. The results of that single sentence were almost too horrible to bear. Courtney was in his car and approaching a bridge. The phone line disconnected, but he still screamed into it anyway.
Mom? Dad? That's it? You have nothing else to fucking say to me. Why'd you even fucking call me? Why the fuck did you do this to me?
The line beeped without sympathy.
What?
Something inside the poor man's eyes looked dead inside. It did not require 720p video inside the dashcam to properly characterize the look of defeat and utter anguish. I wanted to help him, but as always, there was no time. Plus, the rules of the God experiment forbade interaction. Tommy looked ready to make an exception when Courtney pulled over and got out of the car. We switched cameras. Our participant stood on the narrow sidewalk and stared into the distance for a couple of minutes.
No, don't do it.
Then he walked forward.
No.
The fog had started to pour in at that altitude. Rain had drifted in and out of the area all evening. Quietly, Courtney began to whisper one line on loop, just like all the others.
Is it okay?
I am your missing string. 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 Tommy appeared really worried at that moment. He grabbed his cell phone and furiously thumbed a text to a number I did not recognize. Then he reached over and paused my video, and instead pointed to an opposite monitor. The camera 4 showed the inside of the car. "What the fuck is that?"
What?
he asked. It was impossible to see any features, but one fact seemed clear. A black shape sat very still in the back seat, at about medium height. After a few moments, the door opened beside it and something exited in the opposite direction.
What do you mean, something?
We frantically adjusted the cameras to get a view, but there was no one else in sight. I resumed the video and checked on Courtney. He dangled carelessly off a support beam as I repeated my favorite slew of curses. The cold, hard ground several hundred feet below did not seem to be worrying to anybody but Tom and me. "Where do all missing strings go?"
No.
Courtney asked our audio feed.
No.
Then, he slipped off his shirt.
Oh.
He unattached the microphone. He finished one final sachet around the pole. Then, Subject 003 took a dramatic swan dive into the below. I still wonder about his question. I don't think anybody really knows. Michelle was a transgender female who never quite adjusted to the cameras in her home. That fact alone made her much smarter than the rest. It was an unmistakable and itchy feeling to be watched. Some people recognize it better than others. The sensation can creep through your guts like a virus. It makes all those little hairs on your neck stand on end. Survival instincts implore human beings to seek shelter in these situations.
That's me, bro.
It is always best to avoid the eyes of the hunter, but if there is no way to be sure of safety, what if the lion has eyes in every corner of the jungle? Subject 004's survey indicated a hermit-like behavior. She had few family and friends. Her employer was an online blog that allowed employees to work from home. The topics of conversation for this site were nothing short of the usual dog shit you see in National Enquirer and similar publications.
Bro, this is crazy, man. Like, I've seen some, I know pretty I've seen, if y'all been scrolling on social media, I've seen people do kind of jump off buildings and all that. It's scary. That's some scary stuff. And I can only imagine the people that's there. I can only imagine the family members that have to witness that stuff. I can't even imagine the family members that have to go and identify the bodies afterwards, man. Like, that's just not the way to go, bro. There's always people to talk to. You can talk to me. I don't care what time it is, man. If I'm asleep, that's different. But anytime you need something, man, my Instagram is open, my Twitter is open, bro. Do not go jumping off the bridges. And also, who cares what people think, man? It took me a long time to, like I said, to kind of get that through my head as well. Like, who cares what other people think? Let them think you're ugly. Let them think you're fat. Let them think you're not cool. Let them think you're a nerd. Who cares, man? Like, you caring, is that going to help you lose weight? Is you caring going to help you look better? Is you caring going to put more money in your wallet? Like, who cares? Let's let people talk, man. I entertain it all the time. People say hateful stuff to me in the comment. That's cool. I just go and entertain it. And I tell them, I just respond because it helps with the analytics. Like, you hating me and still comment is still benefiting to me. Like, you know, just because you hate your life or you're unhappy, don't try to throw it on me because it's not going to work. Because one, I don't care. That's like the number one thing to achieve is I don't care. I'm responsible for my happiness. I don't care that you have low self-esteem. My self-esteem is high. I do not care. So I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Love yourself, man. If no one else love you, I do. You can come to my channel anytime you want, throughout the week. It doesn't matter when or where. I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you come from. If you speak English, you don't speak English, bro. One leg, one arm. I do not care. Purple, green, yellow. I do not care what you are, man. You are welcome here at the Crow's Nest. Everything here is positive. I'm trying to strive for a positive channel. Do not go down that route. I have to say it. If I have to say it every video, I will. But you have a place here. Do not go to that extent to where you have to take your own life, man. There's always someone that's willing to listen.
Popular headlines included, Woman Marries Alien, Bigfoot kept Lumberjack as love slave.
Alien?
And more of the usual attention-seeking crap.
Bigfoot love
The more
slave.
absurd, the better. Michelle had been with the company for nearly 10 years. Her articles on conspiracy theories built a reputation that stretched across the country.
Yes.
Nevertheless, the layoff at corporate headquarters claimed her job in the second week of our study.
I like to order Bigfoot.
As with past participants, our video caught all the gory details. Our subject cried in bed for days. She did not leave her apartment for a week. Doctor appointments stayed canceled. Groceries were delivered to the house. And the few friends remaining offered nothing outside of a few half-hearted text messages. So it goes. Michelle pursued the employment market relentlessly. Personally, I thought this indicated a willingness to take life more seriously. The resume compiled online looked impressive to my untrained eyes. Called and begged several other companies that claimed to be hiring. She filled out 1 million applications online, but I suppose the job market is tough for the type of person who once wrote that her landlord is a lizard. Most newspapers insisted on more serious experience. A few fellow blog sites openly laughed during interviews on the phone. The windfalls of hope and repeated disappointment became tough to watch. All these factors added up left Michelle at home, all day, alone. She turned to alcohol somewhere around the 3rd week. Tommy blamed the strange behavior that followed on her excessive drinking. I remained unconvinced. The warning signs that I had come to identify seemed to be repeating themselves in Subject 004. One hungover morning, Michelle moved a chair to a blind spot in the kitchen. She sat there for 4 hours.
No.
The entire apartment stayed quiet during this time. When Michelle emerged, she seemed suspicious of everything from the cat to her own shadow. She searched the apartment endlessly for something, and that made us worry. During setup, Tom etched one of our cameras into the wood of her nightstand. Sure enough, she found it, after tearing apart the whole room. She talked to us openly from that point on. That revelation certainly affected our test results, but as always, our responsibility stayed the same. Interference in correction did not present itself as an option. We were only observers. The camera became a prop of Michelle's bout of self-destruction. She carried that and a bottle of Jack Daniels everywhere. She talked to both as if live streaming. Most of the messages were incoherent and similar to the nonsense she used to peddle for a living.
Reporting live from the kitchen. Water has turned to a mysterious brown color. Back to you, Doc. Reporting from the bedroom. Something is scratching underneath my floor. Can you guys hear that? Reporting from the den. Someone is outside my door. Is that one of you?
Nothing I saw or heard on screen confirmed her theories.
Yeah,
However,
I don't know.
My concerns started to get more serious when Michelle refused to sleep. 2 days without rest turned to 3, and 4, and 5.
5?
Her behavior became manic. On several occasions, I caught her staring at the walls for hours at a time. Soon enough, Michelle found the remaining camera. She took to hiding in blind spots that made it impossible for me to see her after
That's
that.
crazy.
The frequency and length of the live streams radically decreased. I hoped that wherever she went, Michelle finally found some sleep. The apartment was always very quiet during that time. There were no other voices inside. One morning, many days later, someone knocked at the apartment door. Michelle had not been outside in 2 weeks.
Oh, hell.
Tom snored so loud in the lab that I had almost missed it. The
Quarantine.
knock started out quiet and unassuming. After a few unanswered raps, it grew more aggressive until it soon became an absolute pounding that stirred my colleague from his sleep and
police?
caused Michelle to sprint into my line of sight in a panic.
Do you guys hear it now?
We did.
What do I do?
I had no idea. Tom pulled out his phone again. He had a block on the device that obscured my vision from the side.
Answer the
I
door.
asked him angrily about the text messages, and he started to answer me just as Subject 004 walked over to the door. "Shit! She cannot answer that door!" he muttered instead. Michelle could not hear us. She looked through the peephole neurotically, and then she shrugged her shoulders and caught a quick, nervous breath and unlocked the chain. "Why don't we have visibility in the hallway?" I asked, fearing the answer. It came a second later. A gunfire erupted in our headphones. A bullet caught Subject 004 in the head. I knew immediately that our Michelle was dead. She did not even have time to scream. Tom pulled the plug from every computer, monitor, and power grid in the lab. Video and audio disappeared in kind. He fired off a few more rapid-fire text messages. In a few short moments, the God experiment fell completely offline.
Well, I'm going to end it right here, guys. If you enjoyed my content, man, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. This video was recommended to me by Lee, so make sure you guys go give me some more recommendations. Be on the lookout for part 2 tomorrow. I hope you guys are on the edge of your seats. Will the last 2 participants survive? Will he be able to save them? And also, is Thomas the killer? I know a lot of you guys probably like, oh, that's stupid, but if you think about it, why are they so secretive about don't answer that door? I think it's somebody that's going around killing these participants, because one, or either it's death. I think that might be the symbol of death, the little black figure that they keep seeing, but they're not able to identify or see who it is. I think that's like the death or the Grim Reaper or somebody that's going around and killing these participants, because I feel like each one should not be dying like this, bro. One committed suicide, one got killed, and another one, someone was in the back, like seemed like, I guess, death or something, convinced jump, and he jumped off, and then now she got shot. It's a lot going on, man. But if you guys want to cheat, go ahead and go down in the description box, click that link and go watch the videos in entirety. Want me pause it and stop it and talk it through the whole thing. But if you want to continue it with me, be on the lookout for tomorrow. It's kind of like a to be continued to get your blood pumping. Throw out some ideas, throw out what you guys think is going to happen, and let me know down in the comment section. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Zems, and welcome to the Crow's Nest. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. But also, man, she's right, bro. You can just feel it. If you ever feel like you're being watched, bro, get out of there. Do not be like, oh, I'm over exaggerating. If you're with people and they can't understand that you want to leave, then you leave, bruh. Get out of there. Because 9 times out of 10, the body has something of way of sensing energy or sensing danger, and it's trying to alert you. So if you ever feel like you're uncomfortable, if you ever feel like you're being watched, if you ever feel like something's about to go down, take that advice from yourself and leave.